Days after the stranger's warning dragged heavily on Amara's heart. The mansion was filled with gold and glass, yet every corner felt like a cage. Chike's love was suffocating, his smile too perfect, his gaze too sharp. He spoiled her with gifts and laughter, took her to parties where friends envied her life, yet he controlled her every move. To the world, Amara was blessed, but inside, she knew she was being watched, every word weighed, every glance measured. At night, when Chike slept soundly beside her, she lay awake staring at the ceiling. The necklace hidden beneath her pillow burned against her skin. The woman's voice echoed in her mind, "He took my sister." And sometimes, as Chike turned in his sleep, he whispered words that froze her blood. "You won't leave me." One evening, while walking past his study, Amara noticed the door slightly open. Curiosity drew her in. The room smelled of leather and old wood. On the desk lay a thick, worn journal. She hesitated, then reached for it. The pages were filled with rough handwriting, lines that made her shiver. Obedience, silence, order, a home without noise. As she flipped through, an old photograph slipped out and landed at her feet. A young woman smiled from the faded picture, her name Adaora written on the back. Amara's stomach clenched. Another woman, another ghost of Chike's past. Before she could read more, she heard footsteps in the hallway. She shoved the journal back into place and hurried out, forcing a smile when Chike appeared at the door. His eyes lingered on her just a little too long. That night, as she tried to sleep, images of the journal swirled in her head. But then came something darker, memories that weren't hers, but his. A boy, small and trembling, hiding beneath a wooden table. A tin toy car clutched in his hand. His father's voice thundered through the house, accusing, cursing. His mother's soft cries cut through the air. A cup shattered against the wall. The boy pressed his hands to his ears, eyes wide with terror. The memory shifted. The boy, now older, stood with a school report card in his hand. His mother knelt before him, whispering, "You are not your father. You will be different." Her voice was tender, but her eyes carried fear. Another shift. A young man, dressed sharply, walking on a university campus. A girl laughed beside him, carefree, but his face was tense, his grip on her hand too tight. He wanted to hold, to keep, to never let go, even when she pulled slightly away. Amara jolted awake, heart racing. The flashbacks felt so vivid, as if she had slipped inside Chike's past. The next day, she forced herself to play her role. She laughed at Chike's jokes, let him choose her dress, accepted his kisses with trembling lips. But she could feel it. The closer she came to the truth, the more suspicious he became. Late one night, when Chike stepped out to take a call, Amara crept into the study. Her hands shook as she picked up the phone. She dialed quickly, whispering into the receiver, "Hello? Please, I need—" The line went dead. Her blood froze. Slowly, she turned. Chike stood in the doorway, the phone cord dangling loosely in his hand. His face wore a warm smile, but his eyes glimmered with something cold. "Who were you speaking to, my perfect wife?" Amara's breath caught in her throat. She forced a trembling smile, her heart hammering so loudly she was sure he could hear it. Chike walked closer, brushing her cheek with the back of his hand. His touch was gentle, his tone affectionate, but his presence suffocated her. "You don't need to call anyone," he murmured. "You have me, and that is all you'll ever need." She nodded, swallowing hard, but inside she was screaming. That night, when he finally drifted to sleep beside her, Amara sat in the shadows, clutching the necklace hidden inside her robe. She whispered into the silence, "I hear you. I'm still here." The mansion was quiet, but she could feel it. Her time was running out.